During our recent A-Team live stream, I unboxed a very kind donation from Michael French at Retroblasting, and that box included several vintage Kenner Star Wars action figures that were missing from my collection. One of which was Princess Leia Organa in her Hoth outfit, and that has enabled me to now complete my vintage collection of Hoth heroes. And that got me thinking, I haven't done a video yet about the Black Series heroes of Hoth, and I believe I have nearly every kind of Hoth hero in the Black Series line, so let's go through these in today's video.
Come with me, toy fans.
Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now I have already covered a number of these figures in other videos, and I'm not going to bore you here by repeating myself and going over those figures again. What I'm specifically going to talk about today are a few of the heroes of Hoth figures that I haven't yet covered in other videos, as well as discussing a number of figures that I wish Hasbro would produce and how I have kind of pieced together my collection of Hoth heroes. So first of all, let's talk about Luke Skywalker in his Hoth Rebel uniform. This figure was originally released back in 2015 and came packed in with a Wampa action figure. And this set here was very kindly donated to the channel by a supporter named Gojitron. Also released around the same time was another 2-pack that featured a Hoth Han Solo and a Tauntaun, with this toy also being very kindly donated to the channel by Gojitron. And I remember seeing both of these toy sets in Toys R Us in Bangkok, Thailand back in 2015. But rather than pick them up, I was very stupidly collecting the Force Awakens action figures. What a mistake that turned out to be. Now Hasbro have made huge leaps forward in their face printing technology over the last few years. So when you get a Black Series figure that was produced 6 or 7 years ago, the face quality is nowhere near as good as the figures that are being released today. And this Luke Skywalker action figure is a prime example of that. Unfortunately, Hasbro have now re-released this figure and they haven't improved the face at all. If anything, it even looks worse. So I've taken the head from one of my Hoth Rebel soldiers, an action figure that I've already made a video about where I called it one of the most versatile modern action figures available, and I have swapped it out for Luke's head. And I think this looks far superior to the face he originally came with. There's also something a little bit poetic about swapping the Hoth Rebel Trooper's face with Luke Skywalker's face, because the Hoth Rebel Trooper was released long before we were ever offered the Hoth Luke Skywalker. So in many of our young play scenarios, the Hoth Rebel Trooper became a de facto Luke Skywalker action figure to stand alongside your Hoth Han Solo. And although this isn't exactly the correct likeness for Mark Hamill, Hasbro can never seem to get Mark Hamill's likeness correct anyway. In addition to that, I've now put Luke's head back onto the spare Hoth Rebel soldier that I've got and utilised the mask accessory to cover up his ugly face. You can also go a step further with this customisation, as proven by Michael French of Retroblasting, where Michael surgically removed the face from a Snowspeeder Luke action figure and fitted it to his Hoth Luke figure. I haven't gone quite that far, but I am more than happy with this kind of plain Caucasian face that's on the figure at the moment. You'll also want to swap out the goggles, because the original goggles that came with this were just kind of hard off yellow plastic in colour, whereas the goggles that come with the new Hoth Rebel Soldier have the beautiful green lens, and it gives a nice bit of colour to the action figure. This figure is also accessorised with Luke's blaster pistol that can be carried in the holster, and of course his blue lightsaber, which he can use to chop off the arm of the Wampa. I do like the fact that Hasbro designed this Wampa toy with a removable arm so you can reenact that scene from The Empire Strikes Back. Unfortunately, 6 years ago when Hasbro were designing this, they used a peg and socket system. So when the arm's laying on the ground, you've got this peg sticking out, and when you look at the creature with the arm removed, he's got a big hole in his shoulder. It just looks a bit odd. Beyond that, this Wampa is very nicely sculpted and is scaled accurately to the action figure of Luke Skywalker. It's also an incredibly heavy toy. So heavy, in fact, that you can use it as a doorstop. Now on the other hand, while the Hoth Han Solo face sculpt is not up to the same standards as the modern action figures that are coming out, this character's face sculpt is far more passable than the Luke Skywalker action figure. Hoth Han is accessorised with his blaster pistol that can be carried in a holster. Unfortunately here he's been given a belt that is not accurate to The Empire Strikes Back. He also comes with these Rebel binoculars which he can carry over his shoulder. And the figure has been designed with the hood of his coat as a separate piece which can be removed from the figure. And now we get to the Tauntaun. And this is a toy that I really wish Hasbro would re-release, because I would love to see what the Tauntaun would look like with the advanced sculpting techniques that are available today. But even though this toy was produced 6 years ago, it is still one of the standout pieces in my Black Series Hoth collection. The Tauntaun has a very nice face sculpt for the time, some beautifully intricate reins, and a saddle with lots of details. There's also decent articulation in the arms, the hips and the ankles. And when I first received this toy from Gojitron, I did struggle to get it to stand up, and I actually thought it was a bit of a design flaw, but I finally kind of figured out exactly the right balance point to get this displayed on the 2 feet without using the tail to support the Tauntaun. And once you find that balance point, it's also very easy to display this toy with Han Solo riding it. So now I'm going to talk you through my entire collection of Empire Strikes Back Black Series Hoth Hero action figures. First of all, I have 3 of the Hoth Rebel Soldier ground troops. Of course, one of which is hiding Luke Skywalker's ugly face. But I really kind of started the collection with these 3 figures because I wanted a little squad of Hoth Rebel infantry. We then have the Snowspeeder that comes with Dak. And I've also acquired Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker to pilot this vehicle. We have Han Solo and the Tauntaun. Princess Leia in her Hoth Rebel outfit. We've got C-3PO and R2-D2 stationed at Echo Base, even though this R2-D2 is the Dagobah version with all the mud painted onto him, but hey, I don't care, shoot me, I've only got one R2-D2 in my collection. We have Chewbacca also stationed at Echo Base, but unfortunately I don't have his bowcaster accessory. Chewie here is accessorised with an Imperial blaster because this is the one that came in the Amazon exclusive 2-pack with C-3PO. And finally we have Luke Skywalker in his Hoth Rebel uniform. Now I am no Star Wars Black Series expert, but as far as I'm aware, these are all of the Hoth heroes that have been made available in the line so far. And one character that I really wish Hasbro would introduce into the line would be a Rebel Commander, just like the figures we had when we were children. But even though Hasbro are yet to offer us a Hoth Rebel Commander, you can still use this customised Luke action figure to command your Hoth Rebel soldiers. And they can do battle with some of the many Imperial soldiers from Hoth, or even take on an Imperial probe droid. The Empire Strikes Back is my favourite Star Wars movie, and the Battle of Hoth is one of my favourite scenes, probably up there with the lightsaber duel at the end of the Empire Strikes Back. And given my love of that movie and the scenes on Hoth, I'm very pleased that I've managed to acquire such an extensive collection of Star Wars Black Series Hoth Hero action figures. So thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to check out our video review of the Black Series Snowspeeder, you can click right here. Or to check out our review of the Heroes of Bespin video, you can click here. I'm Tony from Analog Toys, and may the Force be with you.